iPhone photos. Become a photographer from behind your phone. This can also be the same on your iPad. Taking time to learn just a couple of simple steps or things that you can do with your iPad or iPhone can really take your photos from a snapshot to a photograph. First, let's talk a little bit about the differences between iOS 12 and iOS 13. Now, I know that iOS 14 just came out a few weeks ago. This presentation does not focus around the camera or the Photos app in iOS 14, but there weren't that many updates that would change the way you would actually take photos on your camera. It's more about the different types of settings, making things a little faster. So you'll still be able to do all of these things even if you have iOS 14. So in iOS 12, this is when they kind of really started changing the camera and the video. The quick pre-made videos that were put in iOS 12 in your Photos app are really great. You can take a bunch of photos of a situation or maybe something that you're working on in class and make a very quick video already kind of pre-made for you from Apple. The photo editing tools were updated a little bit in iOS 12. They added markup, and they use the camera to open QR codes now, so you don't need a specific app to do that. And then the photo search portion of the camera, or no, sorry, of the Photos app really updated. But where we saw the most changes and where it can really affect the way you take photos or what you're doing is within iOS 13. They made huge changes to the layout of the Photos app. There's a lot of new things to navigate and kind of do. The video editing was upgraded big time. You almost, if you're doing simple editing, you almost don't even need iMovie anymore. So consider using your iPad in the video portion to edit your videos as needed. Like, you can't add titles and things like that, but you can do some really great trimming and cutting and that kind of stuff, and actually even cropping your video. So it's kind of neat. So check it out. And then also the new photo editing tools and layout in the camera are amazing. Again, you may not need Photoshop, or if you have an app that you use for filters, the photo editing right inside of your iPad is real, or your iPhone is really cool. Just to note that the portrait mode works only on iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 10, and of course iPhone 11. On the iPads that we have, I think that some of the newer iPads may do the portrait mode when you do the front-facing camera, but the portrait mode is still not available on the iPad. So the first thing we're going to talk a little bit about is horizontal versus vertical photos. One of the things I always suggest to people that are starting out or wanting to take photos is experiment with the vertical and the horizontal type photos. Landscape and portrait is what they're called. When you're in a situation and you're working on taking photos, try to take photos in both modes. Start with horizontal, take a few photos, and then switch your phone or your iPad to horizontal or to, Start with taking a few photos in horizontal or landscape and just make sure you get a few good photos. And then before you're finished, go ahead and flip your phone or your iPad and take a few portrait pictures too. Sometimes you'll find that later when you're in the editing mode, that one versus the other either changes the look, like it does a little bit here in this picture, or it fits better in whatever project or thing that you're working on. So it's always kind of great to have options, and one of those options is working through either landscape or portrait mode. Another really great thing to think about is changing the angle of where your camera is compared to the person or thing that you're taking photos of. When you change angles, it can completely change a photo. So here's a picture of my daughter, and she is in her car seat. What I did is I just changed the angle just a little bit. I got a little closer, and it's the same day, same car, same lighting, same everything, and I am now looking at almost an entirely different photo. Of course, she is doing something a little different in the photo, but even if I had taken the exact same photo differently, it's still with the lighting and the picture and the angle would have just looked a little different. Here are a couple more examples of changing the angle. So here we are in one of our playrooms, and then I just went ahead and changed the angle a little bit, got down a little lower, and took the picture again, and it just looks a little bit different and a little bit cleaner. Not cleaner as in my room, my playroom is cleaner, because that is obviously not the truth, but it just kind of focuses you back in on the people in the photo instead of all of the stuff around it. Now, all that stuff is still there, but it just adds to the story, but keeps the children as the main focus. So you can do this with people or with things that you're taking pictures of. So consider the angle, change it a little bit, take one quick snapshot of the moment, and then do some imagining and change your angle. Try it from different spaces. Here's a picture of my son working on lights. I changed my angle and shifted him a little bit, and it completely changed the photograph. Again, actually, I don't even think I did. I think I just moved. Anyways, just keep that into consideration. Here's another picture, car seat. I take a lot of pictures in the car seat. But here we are, cute picture, great. All I did was change the angle just a little bit. I moved it from portrait to landscape, and I just came in a little closer. Same moment, same things, just a little bit different of an angle, and it completely changes the photo. Here's another one. At New Tech High, I was taking pictures of a project from last year and decided to kind of do some changing of the angle. I got down really low. I think I put my iPad down on the floor and used the floor as like a structure, and was able to get a really cool photo. Same content, same gym, same everything, and just changing the angle and changing what I focused on the front of my photo can change the way a photo looks. So a couple of different ways to change the angle. One way is to get down low and shoot from below the subject. So here I am down on the ground and I'm shooting up towards my daughter, and well, she would be the subject, and just change the angle just a little bit. Another angle to try is going from really high. So you go higher than the subject and shoot down on top of them. It can change the just the look of the photo and give you some more options for how to take photos. It just gives it a different look. Same people, same thing. It just looks a little different, and it gives you a cool angle. So now it's your turn. Let's take a break and go and use your camera to take some pictures. Use angles, use all the things that you've learned, try some things out, and then come back for the next video to continue your learning.